So, Pfister, how's it going?
It's going really well. Superbooth is really nice this year. Yeah, a lot of people, very chill.
And we've got the quiet Arturia room.
Yeah.
Nice. No aircon, though. I can feel the heat
No,
in it.
yeah.
It's warm.
Definitely.
So big news. So
Yeah.
I can see this stretching off into the distance, the new Astrolab 88, right?
Yeah, quite exciting. So this is to be announced at the end of the month. So we are showing it privately for now, just for exclusive people. But basically, it's the new Astrolab. So it's the 88 version of Astrolab. So as you may know, we released Astrolab 61 1 year ago now.
Yep, I reviewed it.
Yeah,
enjoyed it very much.
It was quite successful, very interesting, very exciting launch because it was our first stage keyboard with the unique thing that it embeds all those instruments that we know and love and that we've been recreating for the past 20 years at Arturia. So all the analog synthesizers, the digital synthesizers, but obviously it's a stage keyboard, so we also have the pianos, the electric pianos.
Yeah.
And what made it really unique was that we have the actual engines or the full engines of the instruments inside. It's not using samples.
It's sort of the current V collection, essentially.
Exactly,
isn't it? Yeah.
It's exactly a clone of the V collection, all running inside a box. So it's a very, very powerful piece of gear, but still we have some very simple interface which makes it really approachable even for someone who doesn't know anything about synthesis. That was really our goal with this, is like to make it accessible to anyone that doesn't necessarily use a computer, that doesn't necessarily know Arturia products, and that still wants to have those sounds, like those classic synthesizer sounds to play with it.
So aside from the extra octaves and a light for every single key, I might add.
Yes, I mean, we already had the lights.
Yes, you did, but there's even more of them.
Yeah,
right?
there's even more.
Is the keybed the same? Or
no, so we are actually using the Fatar TP40L. So it's a premium hammer action keyboard. I mean, obviously it's a 88 keyboard, so you want to be able to play the piano properly. So we had to update so it's really a premium action. It's a great feeling action.
Still with the aftertouch.
Yeah, we still do have monophonic aftertouch, not polyphonic, but monophonic aftertouch. Yeah.
So everything else, I mean, the livery's the same, ins and outs are the same.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically the same concept, the same UI, the same workflow. We just expanded with a full-fledged keyboard. And interesting part as well is that we are releasing a big update. So we're gonna have an update with a couple of very important features that were asked by a lot of users. So being able to send program changes to other devices. So that's something really useful.
So use it like a master key.
Yeah,
a master
exactly.
System,
Exactly. And also we are adding a more compatibility with Analog Lab. So basically you can transfer playlists more easily. You can control the effects more easily. Just improving, enhancing the workflow, because that's a very important part. The connection with Analog Lab on the computer, being able to really transfer presets, being able to create your presets on Analog Lab and seamlessly transfer all the sounds on Astrolab. That's something that's super important for us.
Is the CPU the same, or is it
it's actually slightly more powerful, most importantly because it's an 88 keyboard, and so we wanted to have a bit more polyphony on the piano sounds. So it's slightly more powerful. It doesn't change a lot, but for 88 hammer action, it made sense to have something a bit more powerful. So yeah.
So we've got the Piano V in there, which is a model piano.
Yeah.
I really like the sound. I got some great sounds out of it.
Yeah, it's lovely. Yeah.
But have you done anything else with pianos?
Exactly. So as it's a 88, the piano are really one of the most important sounds on this. And the Piano V is great because it's physical modeled, so you've got like the full range of expressivity. You can really express yourself really in depth, and also it's very flexible because you can change the parameters of the sound. In depth, but in some cases you don't necessarily need a piano that's either like realistic or super expressive, but you want something that cuts through the mix a bit better, that's a bit more punchy, and that's something that's a bit hard to do with physical modeling.
Right.
And so we added also a sample-based piano on top of the physical modeling of the Piano V to just add some more flavors.
So is that
pianos.
specific to Astrolab, rather than another instrument as part of the V collection.
Yeah, so it's part of the sampler. Basically, we have a sampler in
Right,
Astrolab
so-
and Analog Lab that's going to have all those bread and butter sounds that are not part of the V collection yet, or we don't have a specific instrument for that in V collection. So we offer those as part of the sampler for now. Maybe at some point we create more like full instruments using the same.
So is that loaded on
technology.
here? Can we hear something?
Yeah. So for example, here I have a comparison of the piano V. So this is the piano V. And you can hear the physical model of being able to go from soft, very soft, to very bright. But if I compare to the new sample-based piano,
Yeah, it's more punchy in the mid-range, isn't
very
it?
different tone, much more in the mid-range, very very usable for live, especially, or for more
house piano.
Yeah. But for house, it's a bit brighter, but it's still still very
And you've
expressive.
got
Quite
velocity layers.
So we've got 8 layers of velocity, which is pretty good for a digital piano, and it still loads instantly, so very usable for stage. So that's something that's very important for this one.
So I guess this upgrade, because V Collection was 11 has been a really massive upgrade. Lots of new instruments.
Yeah.
They're all going to be available.
Yeah,
on this
exactly. For the release, we are also planning on having all the V Collection 11 instruments compatible. Actually, I have some here. For example, we're gonna have the augmented Yangtze and mallet. So for those who don't know, the augmented are a mix between samples and synthesis, allowing to make really dynamic and cinematic sounds. So from a dry just a nice flavor to add for those really like cinematic sounds. We also have the Jupiter 8000.
Lots of people very excited about that. It seems such a shame only playing one note on an 88 keyboard, but you know,
it feels a bit weird to play only one note. But yeah, we also added the mini brutes, so those really like massive basses from the Brute series is now available. And something that's also quite new with the V Collection 11 is the pure lo-fi that we released.
Yeah, people have been raving about that.
Yeah, and that really sounds great on the 88 because it's really playable keys and adds a lot of mood. So like. And it's the kind of sounds that really play nice when on a hammer action, because it's like a
you can
plucky
dig into
sound
them as well.
Yeah, it's very very expressive and adds a lot of flavor.
And it's the same. So the engine is the same. It's dual layer or dual split, isn't it, on these guys?
Yeah.
So you can have an A engine and a B engine, but the individual engines can have other splits in them as well, depending, like a pigments patch or something.
Yeah, I mean, we have the CMI, the emulator that are already like multi-timbral. You can have already eight sounds in the emulator playing at the same time. So, I mean, you can make really, really complex layers once you open the instruments for V Collection. And if you have 2 parts, with each part has multiple layers, you can have like up to 16 layers if you want. So it's it's quite massive, the amount of
absolutely.
But
for that, I mean, for that reason, because I remember the limitation of the. Some of them are limited to 8 voices, I believe, aren't they? Because of that, because otherwise it maxes the CPU out.
All the synths are quite CPU intensive, so you can't have like 16 voices of Minimoog, for example, because it's just an analog filter emulation and it's costly. So we have to. But for example, the piano I showed you, this is using samples, so. I can have 128 voices playing at the same time. Right. It's just a matter of what kind of engines you're using, you have to limit the voices to not overload the CPU. But basically, the sounds that are important to play with a lot of voices have enough voices.
Right. Fantastic. And has anything changed with the, because I know if you don't own the original, the actual original plugin, there are some limitations as to what you could do with the voices and saving patches. Have you done any work on that situation?
We've improved quite a lot the integration with Analog Lab. So everything like this, the integration with Analog Lab now is really really clean. The transferring is really clean. Editing your sounds in Analog Lab is seamless. But you still, if you want to go in depth and edit all the parameters in depth of the instruments, you still need to own vCollection. But there's already quite a lot you can do with Analog Lab once you have all the faders and the studio view. But if you want to edit in depth,
and you can access more macros in Analog Lab, can't you?
So you have two views. You can have the faders that are displayed at the bottom. Some people don't know about it, but it's expands the amount of control that you can have on each sound.
Have you got a price in euros for what the 88?
So $24.99.
Okay, right. So I forget what the original Astrolab was.
It was 16.
Okay, so all right, cool. And we've got velocity sensitivity. Still, I'm just trying to remember what were. So it's a pair of outputs, isn't it? And you've got inputs on here.
Yeah, stereo inputs, mostly for the vocoder that we have in vCollection.
Ah, that's right. And you've got the legs, of course.
Yeah, it's compatible with the legs. Yeah,
excellent.
As a piece of furniture, it looks just amazing.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Perhaps you can just play us out with a little bit more of your excellent piano playing, and we can fade to black.
I'll try.